Good afternoon, everybody. We're back in Virtual Pool 4 Online. We're back for another match in the World Series of Pool 9-ball tournament. And we have a one-loss side match this afternoon. A race to 15, lag per break, then alternate break, and no jump cues. And it's going to be between Shibo from Serbia and Quagmire from Ireland, and I haven't a clue how this match is going to go. But one thing to say is Shibo, who is a long-time virtual pool player but doesn't play much at all now, he's going to have to up his game because he was really poor in his first match, not taking his time, not giving too much thought to what he was doing, and in the end he ended up getting beat by 18 racks to 14 by Ice Age, who subsequently has forfeited against Jose in the second match. So I don't know what happened there. Oh, Shibo's, that's a match I never noticed. He's already won a match in one loss side against Shaft Tracks 15-7, so I missed that one. So he's now moved on to play Quagmire. So he obviously played better in that match, but I never seen it. I didn't even know it was on. I don't know when they played it. But again, Quagmire's not a player I've seen much of at all either. So as I say, that's probably the reason why I don't know how and what way this match is going to go. But we're going to find out. We are about 2 minutes away. The other thing to have a look at is I don't think there's much else. There might be one other match or something scheduled on here. Let's have a quick look. We've got Jeeves against Billy Bigrigger. That was a match that we're waiting to get arranged, and that is for what's today's date? The 28th. That's for a couple of days' time at 8 PM, and or 8 PM British summertime. That is. Acero and Bedhead have still to arrange, but once again we need to remember there's plenty of time for them to arrange a match. They've got until August the 9th, and we're not even out of July yet. We've got Mooncake against Spectre Dawn. They're all set up. Oh, this is the one where we're going to have two matches. We've got Mooncake and Spectre Dawn on August the 1st at 7 PM, but an hour before that, if we go over to the one loss side, I'm sure there is a match. I think it's semi-pro. I'm sure there's a match. Maybe I'm imagining it, but I thought there was a match arranged on the one loss side. There we are. So an hour before, at 6 PM on August the 1st, we've got semi-pro against Smoking Sid. And that's really up to date as far as the matches that have been arranged. And the one between Shibo and Quagmire is the only match on schedule today, so that's the one that we're waiting on. Quagmire's been in practicing. Shibo, I think, was in practicing earlier on this morning. The room is up. I'm going to dive in. I'm going to get the cloth changed if I can to blue, and I didn't manage to get it done. Try it again and hit OK. Right, we're all set to go. Good afternoon to Hazad. You're the only one in. There probably won't be that many in. I don't think anybody watching this is going to expect a classic here. Well, Shibo has been sitting in the chat, but there's not been a lot of action, so presumably if he's in front of his PC, then oh, there we go. So he is awake. So here we go for the lag. Once again, not a clue who's who here. it might be quite close at the end here. Could be very close. But Shibo wins it. So off we go. Again, a quick reminder, one lost side is a race to 15. It is alternate break and no jump queues, and that's basically all you need to know. And I'm expecting better standard from Shibo, because he is a better player than the first match I saw. As I said, he must have played a bit better against Shaft Cracks. He won fairly comfortably by the look of it in that result. And if you look at the ratings, they're fairly evenly matched here. So again, this is why I'm totally at a loss to predict what could happen in this game. Little push through it. Again, these little delicate ones are the ones that test you if you're going to nail it to that 6 ball, and I think he's maybe left a 2 ball on. Might be enough of it just to bend round. No, there isn't, but it's ended up safe. So the 3 ball, let's have a quick look at that. Well, again, the 3 ball's fine if you're behind it, but not if you aren't. It's not quite as simple as it might look. Well, it is now that the cue ball's nudged the 9 out the way. Difficult to judge getting out from that 2 ball there. That was not a bad shot. 4 ball up in the top rail though. And that's going to scratch. Is it? No. He's okay. Which is probably one reason why I haven't seen a lot of quagmire shooting. Players come on at different times, and obviously in the early mornings during the weekdays, and when it's not my day off like it is today and tomorrow, then I'm long gone at work. And it's going to be, it probably is going to be a very similar pattern this, that the standard of these 2 players is not to the level that we're used to seeing with some of the matches where, you know, you get that chance, you run the table. These guys are maybe going to need 2 or 3 attempts to put these balls into the holes. So it could be a bit disjointed. But we do have the first rack on the board for Quagmire. And we also have a dry break. Shibo awkward queuing, but he's not going to have a second ball to follow this 1 ball. 2 balls locked up. So just an attempt at the safety. Again, no real problems. So 2 ball isn't really going anywhere. Now, yeah, that's way too tight again, that side. And meanwhile, Quagmire's knocked to 3 in. 1 ball's gone safe. Let's see if we can work out a safety. What's he thinking here? And already his extension is gone. You don't get really long enough to get your thoughts together, but we can see what he attempted, but that's going to cost him the rack. The 1-9 combo. The 9 did everything but go in, but an easy out for Shibo. Well, 3 balls in the break. And this is a good chance to run out. Good afternoon, Potman. That just looks a nice pace that he's got there. And 6 ball back up the table into the top right hand corner would be the order of the day here. Yeah, getting far too much juice into that, and now he's made it difficult. Don't know whether he wants to just drop it into the middle now. It looks probably the easier shot. So this is a chance of the run out here for Shibo. Or Diablo, as he used to be called, among other names from the past. And now it's a testy 9 ball into a partially blind pocket. But in it goes, so that's a tidy rack there for Shibo to give him the 2 racks to 1 lead from his break, of course. So the break now goes back to Quagmire, but Quagmire has no success in the break. Good opportunity for a safety here. There's good cover on the right side of the table, so again, I don't know what he's looking at, what he's looking to try. And that'll do it. That gives him control of the table. Now, if Quagmire can hit this at the right speed, well, that's far too hard. But he could have maybe pushed that one up the table and dropped a cue ball in behind the 6 ball there. But he's got away with it. This is why you have to study the lay of the table. But you know, the shot clock's not giving you an awful lot of time to assess a shot and maybe try something like that. That needs to get to a rail, and it hasn't. So Quagmire's got ball in hand, but unfortunately the way the 1 ball's finished, he's only going to have to leave Shibo in trouble here. Now I think, let's have a look. I'm sure he could push that 1 ball through and just leave the cue ball there. There's a gap there to push the 1 ball through and leave the cue ball locked up behind the 5, and now he's trying some sort of miracle shot by the look of it. No. Well, if he'd done what I'd suggested, he would have left the cue ball stuck behind the 5. And has he got it snooker behind the 8? Well, I take it back, he's actually got it covered, so in the end it is a good safety. Could have done it easier than that though. And now Shibo has got an impossible task to hit this 1 ball. And he's made a poor effort at trying to lock the 2 onto the 1. He's underhit that by a mile. And likewise, Quagmire hasn't got the action in the cue ball. I think it was far too straight, so now he's in trouble himself. Well, now Shibo, from that foul, has the chance with ball in hand. Again, it's a table where if you take your time, you have every chance of running the table out. There's no problems. That 4 ball comfortably goes past the 9. Now he has to be careful here because he's got to avoid the traffic, and that was the problem. Running into the 7, and I don't think he's got the angle. He can only try and push to safety there, and it's sneaked out. Or has it? No. Now how did he manage to foul that? What did I miss there? He was playing the 5 ball, and it's come up saying low ball not hit first. Did I miss something there? Or was he fouling something he was next to? Or am I out of sync? Right, hang on a minute. Just in case my head's gone round a twist here, let's go back in. Well, the 5 ball has gone. He must have fouled something next to the cue ball. That looks very narrow. It's narrow but straight, but very, very narrow to try and get that into the middle. Can you see enough of it to get it up the table? Oh, no, you can't. Well, this is... I mean, it's easy to bank the 7 towards this left side rail and send it up onto the top rail and leave distance between the 2 balls. It's very difficult to get cover because there's not enough balls on the table. That might not get there. In the end, it's not a bad result. The reverse bank is on though. Is that going to hold the line? Yes, it is. And he's going to have to do similar with the bank on the 8 ball. But this to square the match effectively, because he should have a shot in the 9. He's going to have to make the... I think the problem with the line he's going to try and take for this 8 ball is the cue ball could end up in the way. Now he went narrow on it. Again, he's okay. It's not an easy 8 ball. And I think that 8 ball's going to go safe again. Well, pretty much so. It's really awkward where it's sitting. Now that's just gone too narrow too soon. Is it going to keep on? Yes, it is. And it's going to have to be the bank to finish it. And he's had a smack at it and he's gifted the rack to Shibo. Again, he didn't spend any time in lining himself up there with that 9 ball. I mean, what shot clock there is, you need to use it just to get yourself on a good line, or as good a line as you think you can to make the bank, and he didn't really give himself enough time there. So now we have daylight, and Shibo's break gives him the 7 ball but doesn't give him much else. No shot in the 1. I don't know whether there might be enough. There might be enough room past the 3 just to catch the knuckle and punch the 1, but he obviously didn't think so, and he's going to get put back in here by Quagmire. Shibo's push out has left it snookered, and now he's trying to spin and chip the 1. Might have fluked it. No, he hasn't. Now, does that cut? It's very thin, but the scratch is on if you go for the cut into the middle. And if he's trying to take it long, again, that was well played. Had to just avoid the middle pocket that he's left, another awkward one. And the 6 ball is really tough where it's sitting. That's another good shot in the 2. Well, he's done well so far. Now, it all depends on the line that he has in this 5 ball, if he can drop to the side rail. But the problem is the 8 ball's a blocker, so he's now going to have to dig into the cue ball and try and draw up the table towards the 8 ball if he can. And needs a lot of work. He's got a slight angle, but he's so close to that middle pocket, and he's pretty straight as well. Now, how's his luck? Is he going to drop behind the 8? Unfortunately for him, yes he is. That's the only thing there that could go wrong. And now, this is what you don't want when you're trailing by 3 racks to 1, having to try and kick. I don't know whether that's the way to do it. I don't know. I think he was devoid of ideas on how to do it, but he had to pick a line with maybe a bit of spin off the long rail on the right there. So Shibo has the opportunity to stretch his lead. And it's going to, again, this can go wrong because of where the 9 ball's sitting. But he's got the pace right. And that'll do nicely. So 4 racks to 1. And Quagmire needs to address this situation soon enough. You can start doing that by getting a couple of balls in the break and getting a shot in the 1, and he's not got the shot in the 1. No favours for him there. I'll tell you what though, that's a pretty damn good safety. That is tight. But 2 rails here. And a good hit. Good afternoon to Poleman. I still haven't got that fixed, by the way. It's something that it needs an expert's advice to put right. Well, I see that's. I could go into the story, but it would end up being too long. See, the problem with Microsoft Flight Simulator, right? I had a problem before. When they did an update, and when they did an update I couldn't get Microsoft Flight Sim to run. Settings and storage, I've tried every advice I've seen on YouTube. I've tried every advice I've found on the forums, but they say there's a technical issue on my PC as regards user account privileges and stuff, that there is some sort of error telling me something is corrupt, and I need to know what that is and how to resolve that situation. But besides that, if I go and try and load Flight Sim, what happens is it's as if it's loading. You can see the loading screen, you can see the Shibo logo, and then it comes up with an error, and if you're quick enough you can read it and it says you've been kicked out of the Game Pass thing. And you know, I'm logged in, but I haven't a clue how to fix it, and I just can't get rid of the game just to do a clean install of the damn thing, which is so frustrating. And I'll tell you something else. I wish I had waited and got it on Steam, because I know where I am with Steam. And I know how to fix problems with Steam. If you ever get problems with games and stuff, you know, it's a fairly simple to resolve it. I've been with Steam for, 16 years now, and I can easily resolve it that way. I wish I had waited until I'd got it in Steam. Simple as that. See, that Microsoft and all of this other Xbox crap is probably the worst setup for running games. I'd never recommend it to anybody. But I mean, Game Pass might be part of the problem, but I think the other part of the problem's something on my PC that's wrong. And this is why I need somebody who's technically minded, who knows how to fix it, or what to do to recommend to fix it, and I need somebody like that to do it. And then I can take it from there if I can work out how to get rid of this. And I managed to uninstall Microsoft Flight Simulator before, but now I can't even do that. Weird. Anyway, back to more important matters. It's 4-2 to Shibo, and Quagmire trying to get that cue ball spinning across for the 6. It's cost him the shot in the 5 ball, but that 5 ball is very tight to the rail. And look where the cue ball is. It couldn't be any worse. The full length of the table. Really, really difficult to find the line there at that tight line. And Quagmire's got the same shot as the last time, trying to get out for the 6. He should be fine now because he's dead straight in the 5. It needs to keep going. Problem with this is he's running into the 9, and they might end up having no shot in the 8. Good afternoon to Semi-Pro. Now he's had the kiss and the double kiss off the 9, and of course it's killed his chances of the 8 ball. This looks good to me. That is a pretty good safety there from Quagmire. And it's a handy time, because trailing by 4 racks to 2, you don't want to go further adrift. And if Shibo can't get a hit and get this safe, Quagmire's odds on that he should be winning the rack. I've got a problem, Semi, with Flight Sim. It won't run. And it's not quite as simple as everybody might think who has worked with the Flight Sim. It won't run. It says I've been kicked out of Xbox game, whatever it is. And whenever I go and try and alter permissions so I can get into the Windows app folder, I get some sort of message saying that this profile is corrupt and whatever, and I don't want to do anything for fear of causing major problems with the PC. So something needs put right on my PC first of all before I start trying to mess about doing anything else, and that's beyond my level. So I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel and asking Polament for help, and so far I've got none. That and the fact nobody else will help us. I am administrator. I'll tell you what else I've done. I've created a second profile, which was pointless because that doesn't make any difference. Everything's greyed out if I try and... yeah, I know you've got it, but you've not got the problem I've got. I had one problem previously when they did a major update, and the game wouldn't run after it. So I managed then to uninstall it and download it all again. And I'm talking about downloading the whole shooting match, not just the 1 point whatever gig that you download, because the software's still hidden in your computer. Yeah, it won't allow me to. The Game Pass thing, you know, there's this new Xbox thing, this game, whatever it's called, and I run that and I'm logged into that. But when I try and start Flight Sim loading screen comes up and it says a Shibo, that's going to scratch, and then there's a there's a window comes up at the back saying you've been kicked out of the Xbox thing, and you know you just have to exit. So I can't run the game. So in order to try and fix that, I tried to uninstall the game, but I've got no access to the Windows app folder, and even when I get into the security settings, the security tab, it still won't let me do it. I've not tried loading it in window mode, but I can't load it in window mode because I can't change the graphics settings. I can't get into anything in the game. Well, 2-rack gap, still 5-3 lead for Shibo. His break gives him certainly one ball in the break. Unfortunately, it was a cue ball. No, this is a job for TeamViewer, this situation. And as I say, the issue, there's one issue has to be resolved first and foremost before anything else can be attempted on the computer, and I don't know how it is. And it does need somebody who knows what they're doing to try and put it right, and I'm not that person. So Quagmire, if he can get in that gap in the middle of the table, he'll have the cut in the 4-ball. Just needs to watch the pace. He doesn't want to end up over by the 8-ball. Now, if that keeps running and nudges the 6, that's not bad, but now he has to go forward and around the corner here. If he's playing the draw, it looks as if, I think the problem with forward is he might run into the 9 here. That's the other dilemma. If he comes back the way, he's going to have to really judge this very well to have a cut in that 5-ball. This is very tough. Yeah, he's run into the 9, and that was always going to be the problem, getting down to this bottom half of the table, just for the middle pocket to make the cut. Very difficult. Yeah, the biggest mistake I did with Flight Sim was not being patient enough to get it on Steam. And if I'd got it in Steam, no problem. I'm pretty certain, I'm assuming that if you uninstall a game on Steam, apart from the app data folders and stuff, the game is fully uninstalled, which would alleviate the problems I've had with having it from the Microsoft Store, which to me is a bloody disaster to start with. I'll never get anything off that place again. I think it's a bloody crazy setup, especially when you uninstall. I mean, the stupid thing about Microsoft Store is if you uninstall the game, and there's a lot more sort of more naive people than I am. They uninstall the game, they think that's it uninstalled. If you go and reinstall it, you're only installing 1 point something gigs worth. The whole bloody game's still hidden on your PC, which I think is crazy as well. So, important visit now for Quagmire. He could get back to within 1. if you can find a line in this 7. I like the pace in that cue ball. That is perfect. He's got to leave himself in such a position that it's going to be odds on to get on this 9 ball. Now, did you hit this with a lot of power to come across the table twice? Because the angle he's got isn't great. Oh, that's excellent. It was a much better angle than it looked. Now, he's got to hold the cue ball. He doesn't want to let it squirt up into a pocket. And he's doing the right thing, not too much juice on it. And in it goes, back to within 1. That rack was tilting to the right. When I say tilting to the right, I'm meaning that the head ball, the 1 ball, is further to the right on the table than the bottom ball of the diamond. 3 ball has gone in the break, no real shot in the 1. Can certainly hit enough of it to push it up towards the 9 ball and the 2 ball. And he's flicked to 4. But it's not going to give him any advantage, again, because that 2-9 are sat there. If he can miss the traffic and get up and down the table, he might be able to have a go at the combo. Has to miss the 6 ball. It needs a lot of power as well to get up there. Now look at the cue ball. That was absolutely, well, pretty nigh on perfect to give him that 2-9 combo attempt. That you couldn't have probably put the ball in much of a better place. That was unlucky. It wasn't an easy cut to start with. Well, again, if you don't get cover, get distance. Quagmire can only see the left-hand side of the 1 ball. He's hit it thin, brushed it onto the 8, and it's safe. Good result. Well, now Shibo is going to have an attempt at the combo. Fairly straightish 1 ball, I think. There's a slight angle on it. Can he get behind the 2? Well, he's trying to nudge something. And he's going to have a shot at it. Now this is just a case of lining that 2 ball just to chip the edge with enough pace to help that 9 along the rail. And this is a shot that Quagmire got himself on, and that's perfect. And Shibo keeps the gap. It goes back to 2. A reminder, this is a 1-loss side match, race to 15. 3 ball in the middle. Well, got to get to a rail, but not enough weight to get the cue ball. Just struggling with that pace to lock that cue ball onto the 4. And the 8 and 9 are tied up, so once again, not a great opportunity to run out for anybody, whoever gets in. Well, the long bank. So now Quagmire has an opportunity to try and tuck that cue ball up behind the 8 and 9. If he doesn't get it, he's going to leave the 2 on, but he'll still leave the 8 and 9 locked together. I'm not sure what he really tried there, but if he tried that, it's worked out perfect. And that middle pocket on the right might be in the way. I don't know whether he might be able to get the line. Yes, he can. Avoids a scratch. He's broke up the 8 and 9 and left the 2 safe. Or has he? No, it will cut back. No way is this going to be easy. He's hung it. And Shibo now might try and use the knuckle and chip the 2 ball to come out. No, he didn't. Managed to just hit half of it. Well, it's the thin cut, and then just hope you get lucky. And he's got half a shot in the 6. Needs to watch the scratch again with this. Has to take evasive action here when he's punching this 6 in. He's he's took the line, but he risked the scratch. And again, another important visit for Quagmire. Just the 3 balls to get, and again he has to get them just to make sure he stays in touch here. Well, now the brave shot. 3 rails all around the table to the right, to the left-hand side of this 9 ball. 1, 2, 3. Again, I love the pace in this. This is perfect. That's where you'd put the ball if you had it in your hand with that 9 ball. Perfect. Now, is he going to get a break here? Could do with it. Well, the ball has gone in. That 9 ball is going to go safe though. Not the 9, the 1 I should say. Well, it's very thin. Yeah, he was trying to help it in with a bit of right spin there, but you're squirting that cue ball offline, making the shot much more difficult. And Shibo getting back to nasty habits. He has a bang at something. And he's got away with it. He should be locked up this time. And that's too heavy. Again, there is a bit of a technique to be able to play those little delicate shots where you're just punching the object ball away but controlling the cue ball to lock that up behind the 7. Well, we've had a forecast for rain for the last couple of days. We haven't had rain here for weeks. I mean, the grass is getting parched. We've had the warm weather the last couple of weeks, and then finally this morning or during the night we must have had a shower, and that's all we've had. So we've had a fairly long dry spell. And it's been dry all day apart from the dampness we had this morning, but I do believe that there's still weather warnings for heavy rain further north in Scotland, but we're certainly not seeing any of it. So Shibo with a slender 1 rack lead. And it's going to be a 4-9 combo here if Shibo can pot the 3. Now, can he see enough of this 3 to do anything? He can just see enough. He has to get up the table though. And that's not where he wants to be trying to play the combo in the 9. And he's not got that tight enough. He should have nailed that. Okay, Quagmire's not going to pot the 4, but just a wee bit more attention to detail needed here. Just to get the proper shot executed. The shot that you're trying to play. And the other thing, that, I mean, it's terrible to say this, but you laugh at the people who, because we've had some warm weather in the last few weeks, last weekend we had goodness knows how many folk that was that drowned in lochs up here. People, I mean, this is people like you or I who never go into water, and suddenly, you know, they're maybe going out for the day and they decide, oh, it's really warm, let's go in and cool off in the loch. The bloody loch water's freezing, it's probably colder than the sea. I mean, you just don't go into any reservoirs or lochs. What looks to be a you know, a flat calm loch. It's like hundreds of feet deep. There are currents going on, and your body reacts to the chill, and all of a sudden you're struggling to get a breath, and everything starts to shut down quickly. And this is what people don't understand about the cold water. When you immerse yourself in the cold water, you're not in full control of your body's functions. And that's why people drown, and it's simply because you're not doing something like that every day, and people don't know really what to expect, and then the next thing you know they're dead. I mean, it's just suicidal stuff, that. I mean, you think about it, at night time, and you know, all the whatever cold air there is falling down the hillsides, and it's rolling across the lochs, and the lochs are already cold anyway. And you know, any cold air drops down hillsides and mountainsides into valleys. It's just the natural course of events. So the water's never going to be warm. The only place the water's going to be warm is when you're paddling just up to your ankles at the edge, because that's where the sun's getting to it. The rest of the loch is all dark, so any sunlight's reflected off it, and it never gets warm. Well, Quagmire, this is taking a pattern that I'm sure Quagmire doesn't like, because he's chasing Shibo's tail every time he's coming to the table. There has to be a point where this match is going to turn in his favour one way or another. He's going to be back to within 1 again. Now, I can't remember who's got the break. Well, Quagmire's got the break. It's a straight rack, pretty much. Is he going to get some luck? No, he isn't. But the 4 and 5 have locked up, so they're going nowhere. And it's taken a pattern as well. When the balls are breaking, even if a ball's going in, there's always a couple of balls locked up one way or another. That's another 2. So it just immediately scuttles the chance of somebody trying to at least make a half decent run out. Well, Shibo had actually got the cue ball to a position where he could have a go at the 3 there, but the 2 was nowhere near easy, and he should again be in trouble, but that's poor because that's not getting to a rail. But he's still got that safety net, the 4 and 5 ball. But it could also mean that he'll find himself in trouble in a minute. And Shibo trying a miracle shot to try and get some movement. Well, he's moved to 4 this time, so the 2 of them are split, but the 7 ball's been knocked as a blocker up table. And he's got lucky with the safety. Quagmire having to kick. He's got the hit. How's his luck? And again, Shibo should have Quagmire in trouble. Just a brush off the 3 and drop in behind the 5. Again, I haven't a clue what he tried here, but it's ended up safe. Cue ball spinning in. So Shibo now has ball in hand. Now that 5 ball, let's have a look at it. I mean, the 4 ball's half the problem, but it can be a 4-7 combo if you can get there. And that'll open up the table. Well, the 6 ball may well be the ball that decides this rack. Because Shibo has to leave an angle on this 5 so that he's potting it and bringing the cue ball out into the middle of the table by the right middle pocket. And he's got the angle to do that. And then, of course, we've got the old problem of where that 8 ball is. You've got this no-go zone in there. You don't want to be the low side of this 8 ball if you're going up table, and he's actually left himself really, really tough for the 6. And there is a bit of a break for Quagmire. Okay, he's been left nothing easy, but he's only trailing by 1 rack. And if he can pull off a shot here, he's got a chance of getting back in level terms. Not a great chance, it has to be said, but sometimes these are what can make the difference in the overall result of the match. He's had a half-hearted attempt at a bank, and all he's done now is given Shibo a free go. You see if he, I mean, again, all you're looking for is up towards that left middle pocket or right middle pocket. He's going too straight. He's put nothing in the cue ball to give it a better line, and now he's in the bedhead position. Is he going for the cut? Yes, he is. And that's why he's ended up missing it. And there's the break that Quagmire has been waiting on. He can now roll the 9 in, albeit from distance, and he cannot afford to do that though, I'm afraid. That might be as close as he's going to get to Shibo in this match. Right there. And the gap opens up again. So Shibo is halfway home. The 9 ball threatening to go in on the break, but the break is dry. Right, we'll give him the 2. 2 into the middle, no problem. Let's have a look at how this 3's sitting. Well, if he puts it really tight to the rail, it'll chip in off the 4, I think. He's got to try and just sweep that down the rail. He can't go slamming this, but then again he has to think about the 4 ball. And well, it's been nudged in by the 6, but he'll take it straight in pot in the 4. So he's got the pressure of trying to stay with Shibo, but also now that he's at the table trailing by 2 and a wide open table, he has to get the job done. And he's overhit that, and he's going to be in trouble here, is he? Yeah, hampered over that 8 ball. Just got to focus the pot. He's still going to have a shot in the 8. And now he's got to be careful with this, because it's got to be dropped in dead weight. He doesn't want to let the cue ball run away. That's fine. Back to within 1. And no favours. So Shibo, from the dry break from Quagmire, has a chance to widen the gap yet again, and once again not really getting himself set, and this needs to be punished this time, and Quagmire didn't quite get into it enough. Oh, this has got scratch written all over it. And that's why he's ended up overcutting the 5. Oh, he'll take that though. I just get the feeling there could be a point in the not too distant future where this match is going to turn on something in terms of favouring Quagmire. He's been trailing all the way, but he's not quite get back in level terms. Now that's a good shot. How is that kissing the 6? Is he able to squeeze it past? Yes, he can. He's got to use it. Well, he's played the billiard, that's even better. Excellent. And now he's finally got all square. Eight racks apiece. And Shibo comes up dry. Look at this table, and the problem is the wrong side of the 1, and having to avoid collisions here. It's probably very difficult to avoid collisions to get this cue ball around the angles and up the table. Well, at least he's on the right side of the table, but this is a tight cut at distance, but it does go past the 8. And the 3 balls down this end of the table here, so the cue ball's going to be heading in that direction. Now he needs a bit of luck, and he's got it. I don't think Shibo can get to the 2 in terms of making the cut, but look at how he's queuing. He's right over the 9. Well, that is a good shot. That is really good. That is so difficult. Been hampered over that 9 ball. But now, getting no lucky kiss in the 5. It's another one he's going to have to dig out. And he should be on the 5 though if he can get this. Oh, it needs to find a gap. It's going to be narrow though. Oh, he can get there. Well, this would be a good rack to win. Oh, it's a perfect angle in the 7. Get that cue ball right up onto the right side. And 9 ball off the rail. Shouldn't be a problem. Well, he would much rather not be playing from there though. This means you just can't take liberties, just take what you've got. Leave the higher cut on the 9. That's a good finish there for Shibo. And it just keeps him in the lead. Keeps Quagmire at arm's length. And a good break. This time he's got no luck again. What did we lose there? We've lost the 3, the 4, the 5. Oh, this is asking for trouble. Quagmire. Because if Shibo can get his touch this time, he should be locked onto the 9. Good evening to Mark. What do you call this? It's just gone 6 o'clock. Well, that's an awful shot by Quagmire. This match has been on for just on the hour, and that's his worst shot of the afternoon. That one he's just played there. He doesn't want to start doing that sort of stuff, having got himself back all square, albeit for a short time. He doesn't want to start gifting opportunities to his opponent, but he's certainly gifted this rack, and the gap's going to go to 2 again unless Shibo somehow finds himself locked behind the 9. So Quagmire's been waiting and waiting and waiting to get back on level terms, finally got there, and then it's all just sort of drifted away there and very quickly in the last 2 racks. But that poor attempt at a safety shot there's cost him big time. Got to get rid of that out of your game, because you don't want it happening at the wrong time. And what's more, Shibo's got a ball in the break, shot in the 1, everything wide open. And may well capitalise on this. Now he's in again a little bit of a dilemma. He can draw back. He's got to watch the line where he's drawn back though. Well, he's stunned into the gap. That's a good shot. I think the line wasn't that great to draw back, but he's got a good angle there. Now needs to watch the pace. Well, I think this will be, if I remember rightly, I think Shibo had a 4 racks to 1 lead early on in the match, and it's going to go to a 3 rack lead again here, provided he can get round onto the 9. He's the wrong side of the 8. And now Quagmire's in a dangerous zone at the moment if this rack pans out the way it looks as if it's going to do. I put lots of inside right, and that is perfect. So the gap is going to go to 3, and the problem now for Quagmire is we are running out of racks. And I think that's the cue ball going again. Yep, cue ball's gone in the break, and this is a pressure visit for Quagmire. He should be able to get on the 2, but then he's going to have to travel up the table to get on the 3, and then the 4 ball is going to have to be a combo with the 6. 5 ball over the right middle, the left middle pocket. So this is just about nudging the 3 in. Bring the cue ball up the table if you can, in a line with that 4 ball. And this is going to decide the rack. And I don't know what he was thinking, but he's now got himself in a proper hole. Why don't people take their medicine and play the sensible shot? I mean, he's in control at the table there. Could have brought the cue ball up as best he could for a line on that 4 ball. And, well, he's blown it big time there. And again, it's all happening at the wrong time in the match. He got it back to 8 racks all. And now it's going pear-shaped very rapidly here. Shibo with ball in hand. He'll fancy the job here. But he's just rushing things a bit here. Again, you've got to be careful if he's going to run forward. Just nudge this in and hold the cue ball. You don't want to mess with the middle pocket. Well, that's bad news for Quagmire, because it's taken a turn for the worse this match. Shibo's now within 3 of the next round in the 1 loss side, and the 9 ball has gone in a break as well, which is a disaster if you're Quagmire. And that really does knock a nail in the coffin of Quagmire's prospects now. The game has almost gone. It's now a 5 rack lead, and I think that's 5 racks too many in terms of Quagmire's chances in surviving in this tournament. Made the big mistakes at the wrong time, and as I say, it's like a spiral. It's just got worse from here on in, from 8 racks all, after having hung on and got back and still trailing by 1, and then gets it all square at 8 all, and then there it's all gone down the pan. And that 6 and 7 are a combo dead set into the middle, and that's going to be too heavy. So Shibo comes to the table with a cut in the 4. Cue ball's coming across the table for the 5. He'll have the 6-7 combo if he wants it, but he's hung the 4. Not according to the bracket mark. There's 2 matches, I think, on August the 1st, and Quagmire's drawn it straight into the pocket. There's 2 matches on in a couple of days' time, but this is the only one that's been scheduled so far today. And Shibo is going to be one away, provided he can get himself good on the 8 ball. That is good enough. And Quagmire's summed it up pretty well there in the chat. So Shibo on the hill, one away, and again he's found a way to scratch. Well, this is last chance saloon now for Quagmire with ball in hand. Well, that's gone way out of line on the 3 ball. So Shibo now has the match at his mercy. Get the cue ball over to the left. He might be able to brush off the 8 ball here and hold for the 6 down this rail on the right hand side. He just goes forward. He might brush the 8. Well, again he's trying to do it by drawing the cue ball. I think again you've just got to take what's there sometimes. Meanwhile, Quagmire's missed the 5, but I don't know why Shibo didn't just let it run and brush off the 8. Even if it missed the 8, it'd still have a shot in the 6. But this time Shibo, again, great big draw. And the problem with that shot is he's running into the 9. Again, even that shot wasn't sensible. And that's why he's ended up missing a 7. See, this is a sloppy, careless play that Shibo does far too often, and it costs him rack after rack. Certainly in his first match it did. Gave away far too many racks. Must have played better against shaft racks on the one lost side match he played that I missed. And now he's just desperate to go over the line. And Quagmire, if he can roll this in, he'll survive. So again, just carelessness, but that is even more careless. And Shibo will give this a blast for the bank for the match. And so it's Shibo that carries on in the tournament. He wins by 15 racks to 8. We'll have a quick look at the bracket, and we'll have a look at the 2 matches that are arranged. This is the one that's going to update in a second or two. We can see that at 6 o'clock, 6 PM British summertime on, what date is this, the 28th? Is that Friday or something? No, wait a minute. This is the 28th, Thursday the 29th, Friday. That's Saturday night, I think. So on Saturday night, British summertime, we've got semi-pro against Smoking Sid on the one loss side. It starts at 6 PM, and then an hour later, so obviously that match still may well be going while this other match is about to start. And oh, there's another one. I forgot about that one. That's in a couple of days' time between Jeeves and Billy Big Rigger. But there's another one. Where else it went to? Was it Spectre Dawn? Yeah, Mooncake and Spectre Dawn is at 7 PM on August the 1st. So that'll be a good match to see. So we'll have 2 matches that night. Hope you can join us. I'm off to get my dinner. Thanks for your company, guys. Stay safe, take care, and we'll see you again soon.